Cobra Kai never leaves any emotions aside, as it makes fans feel everything all at once. And some of the sad moments in the show have made many viewers feel sorry for some of the characters. Tori breaks down. Tori Nichols is one of the strong female characters in Cobra Kai, and many fans are proud of her strength. However, when the Cobra Kai dojo came under new leadership, she remained loyal to her former sensei, John Kreese. This loyalty to Kreese ended in her getting heartbroken and almost caught by Terry Silver and Kim Da-eun, who suspected she was being distracted by Robbie, who was no longer in Cobra Kai. To test Tori's loyalty to Cobra Kai, and also as a punishment for not fighting in the All Valley tournament, she was told to break a marble brick. She couldn't do so, and many fans felt her pain as she kept hitting the marble brick while her knuckles cut and hurt. She tried calling attention to why she couldn't do it, but Kim told her she was just a coward trying to choose a boy over her dojo. And with the most intense emotional anger the fans have seen on Tori's face, she stood up, wanting to hit Kim, who avoided the blow that later shattered the marble brick into pieces. It was such an emotional one for her, and reaching her breaking point gave her the strength to shatter the bricks. John Kreese's mistakes. Truly, Kreese might not be the best guy out there, especially when it comes to training students. He made a huge mistake with Johnny Lawrence and was already setting up the new generation of students for even worse. Sadly, Silver took him down, which was very bad and one of the most emotional moments of the show, but the fans think he deserves whatever he got from Silver. Anyway, while in prison after Silver framed him, he started seeing a doctor assigned to him for rehabilitation. And at one of those times, Kreese faced his younger self and also a younger version of Johnny and how he had disappointed them. He faced his commander, whom he fought and threw into a dangerous pit too while in the army. For a moment, he was living up to why he was in prison. Every wrong decision he ever made to become a villain in Cobra Kai was seen in the scene, and it was very sad. But because Kreese might never change, he utilized the sad moment he was having with the doctor to steal her card for a prison escape. Burnt furniture store. Mike Barnes was not spared in the war that happened, despite having left the drama and casualties that Cobra Kai Dojo is known for. While on his own and doing well, Mike, who changed from who he used to be, was tracked down by Daniel LaRusso to help him fight with Silver. Even though Mike was never physically part of whatever Daniel was planning, as he only gave them some information, Silver fought back by burning his furniture store to the ground. It's a very sad experience to see because the fans saw how well he was doing and how big the store was. Seeing Mike, who is a big man, fall on his knees while in tears and watching his only source of income go up in flames was terrifying. He never deserved what Silver did to his store, and burning down his investment was going too far. Senseis Love. The relationship between Miguel and his sensei Johnny was a pure and beautiful one right from the beginning, and it's still going strong. But Miguel has his troubles, and so does Johnny, and this might have drawn them away from each other a few times. Miguel not knowing who his father is and having Johnny making up for that role in his life has been a big deal. Also, Johnny, who's been having a non-existent relationship with his son Robbie, only made Miguel feel more like a son than a student. But with how sweet this loving teacher-to-student relationship was fast becoming a father-to-son one, it soon became a sad moment in one of the scenes on the show. Johnny has drinking problems and has gotten too drunk to lift himself when Miguel came to help him to his feet and take him home. At that moment, Johnny was sad and was saying how much he wanted to be a father to him and be there for him always. Miguel, who's never had a father figure in his life, was in tears and told his sensei he loved him. And drunkenly, Johnny replied by saying, "I love you too, Robbie." And this made Miguel even more sad and empty because that reply meant Johnny was only referring to his biological son. This sad moment pushed Miguel to go and look for his father, which became another sad discovery: Miguels Rescue. One thing fans have learned from Johnny as an adult is that he's trying to make up for how he fell out as a young adult. And that goes from trying to make up with his former karate rival and most especially his son. So, even after he unknowingly disappointed Miguel, he still made up for it later on in the show. During the All Valley tournament, Miguel sneaked off when it was time for him to perform to look for his father in Mexico. He only notified his mum by leaving a note behind, which prompted Johnny to go and save him and bring him back home because the man he was looking for was dangerous. For a while, Miguel was enjoying the trip, even after he encountered many setbacks. He even impressed a few men in a bar with his karate kicks while trying to identify his father. Fortunately or not, Miguel saw this responsible-looking man who he was sure was his dad, but while getting to know him, he discovered the truth his mum was protecting him from. The dad was indeed dangerous, and that left Miguel so heartbroken that he was crying so deeply. And to make this moment even more emotional, Johnny showed up at the same time to hug Miguel, who continued crying on his shoulder. Stingrays Pain. Stingray is a cool dude who plays into the hands of Silver. He's one of the characters that bring lasting humor to the show, and that's why seeing him sad isn't a good feeling for the fans. Stingray was out of Cobra Kai for a while to serve his sentence for being part of the big fight that put Miguel in hospital. So when he got back, he wanted to remain cool and was still in love with the dojo that got him his much younger friends. But sadly, the power-fueled Silver won't let Stingray's dreams come true. Well, not in the ways he expected. Silver beat him up just to frame Kreese to achieve his goals for Cobra Kai, and in return, Stingray got to keep fancy and expensive things. When Daniel found out Stingray was working with Silver, he approached him and tried to threaten him, which caused a moment that broke his PlayStation. Stingray was sad and held the broken piece in despair, but Daniel didn't care at the time. Seeing that they didn't get anything from Stingray, they left, leaving the man looking all sad beside his broken PlayStation. Hawk's transformation. Right from the beginning of the show, the friendship between Eli and Dimitri has been the saddest. They went from being mocked and being greatly humiliated by other students in the school. And it was a sad and surprising moment when Eli tried to beat himself into becoming confident by joining Cobra Kai, which Dimitri couldn't keep up with. Soon enough, Eli became that boy he'd always wanted to be and started to hate Dimitri for being a nerd. Eli changed his name to Hawk and even got a special mohawk hairstyle to further boost his confidence. To him, he was now one of the popular guys, and being associated with a nerd like Dimitri was bad. These two went from insulting themselves to becoming enemies who beat each other up during rivalry fights. The saddest fight that was too hard to handle was when Eli, in their usual gang-up fight, went one-on-one with Dimitri. And with the push of his wicked friends, Eli broke his friend's arm. And it wasn't just sad, but cruel at the same time. Up close, the fans could see that Eli regretted doing that and was sad too, but he shook it off. It's also bittersweet to see them come together again after everything that's gone wrong between them, and it's so emotional. Cobra Kai Takeover. Cobra Kai never falls off, but many of its senseis have. It started right when Johnny brought back the dojo to help Miguel become strong enough to fight back against annoying students. And it went on until Kreese showed up repentant and eager to join the dojo. Johnny quickly trusted him and hoped Kreese would listen to how he chooses to run Cobra Kai. After the big fight that injured Miguel in the school happened, Kreese decided to take the dojo from the unsuspecting Johnny. And it was emotional seeing Johnny give it all up to Kreese, who had manipulated the students against him for being weak. What makes this moment sad is that Johnny wasn't in a good place at the time. His best student, Miguel, was in a coma at the hospital, and Miguel's mum was very pissed at him for introducing karate to her child. Also, Robbie, who threw Miguel down the stairs, was on the run and on his way to juvie, and he couldn't do much to help. So seeing Kreese being that annoying villain at that particular time was so sad, and maybe that's why many fans don't feel bad for Kreese when he was also removed by Silver. Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.